Hey, what's up guys, it's me again and welcome back to my channel Mayta What Ifs. Today I am back with a new story. The name of the story is What If Naruto Was Cold and Was Reincarnation of the Ten Tails. And yeah guys, it is an unscripted story and an idea that I got while reading most of your comments in the comment section of the yesterday's video. You guys have many interesting ideas, but my first priority is to make a series that I must write down myself on this channel and then upload it. And to do that I have to pick up an idea, and to be honest I'm quite overwhelmed, but I will pick an idea soon and I gotta start somewhere, right? But don't worry guys, don't get disheartened. I will make most of your guys' idea into series or either short movies or movies as well. And Spidey, my guy, just I promise man, I will make your stories, okay? Just don't spam anymore. I promise. I know what you asked. Naruto being the, not the Asgardian. I mean the Olympian and him being the strong and all that shit. I will do that. I promise. It's just that I need to write a series first and not a reaction one. I need to start somewhere solid, okay? That is what I want. And I will pick an idea from the comment section of this video and yesterday's to begin working on a series that will be uploaded on Monday. After I'm finished writing it down completely, I will make it into 3 parts and then upload it for Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. And then after that we see maybe a short movie and then another day a movie, and then we can have our segment of in which you guys might have a chance to participate and get, we'll basically see what you have in terms of, writing a story. Anyways, moving onwards, if you're new to the channel, yeah, I'm sorry for making you listen to all my banter, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. And without any further ado, let's begin with our today's story. Our story begins in a plane that was destroyed, as if a huge amount of battle has occurred there. And that is because it did, but not between any armies of nations or villages, but between a family of 3. On one side was the mother, and on the other side were her 2 children, her sons, Hagoromo Otsutsuki and Homura Otsutsuki. They have found out what their mother was doing and decided to go against her to stop her cruelty onto this world. And that is how they came to this plane. A beautiful forest was destroyed and turned into a ruined war ground. As that is when we see Kaguya was panting heavily after a huge clash between her and her children. "You will pay for this insolence, Hagoromo, Homura." As that is when we see from her forehead a third eye, which was red with rings in them, opened. As both Hagoromo and Homura froze. "What is that, Nisan?" "I do not know, but beware, something big is about to happen." As that is when, shattering the chest of the earth, appeared a huge menacing monster. With its 10 tails swinging left and right, an ugly hideous monster appeared with a single eye that was red with huge amount of tomos in them. As with a single roar of its own, the debris that was left and right in the huge plain that has been created from the forest in which they fought in was cleaned, as they too were flung back miles away. As now we see both of them were barely able to hold themselves and their feet to the ground while this was going on. "Nisan," said Homura, "what are we going to do? How are we gonna fight that monster?" "Everything will be done, Homura. All you have to do is calm down and let me think. I'll buy you some time, Nisan." "No, I got an idea." "What is it then?" "We have to separate Mother and that monster. Leave that monster to me. Homura, I need you to distract Mother and make sure that you hold her off as much as you can. Leave her to me." As now we see both of the brothers making their plan separated, as Hagoromo dashed towards the huge monster, as using his eyes, which were purple with ripples in them, the Rinnegan, he was able to cast a genjutsu and make the beast fall under his spell. As now we see, he had seconds to decide, as that is when he decided to make a sacrifice. He knew his lifespan will be decreased exponentially, but it was the only solution. So he used few hand seals and summoned the Shinigami. And Shinigami arrived, and in exchange for his lifespan, a few years of his, he was able to make a deal with Shinigami, and the Biju was sealed within Hagoromo. And once the biju was sealed, Hagoromo felt immense power within him, and with the help of the new amplifying power and chakra coursing through his chakra coils, he was able to turn the battle tides towards in their favor, and in the end, using the Chibaku Tensei technique that he created at the spot, he was able to seal his mother away on a rock away from the earth, now regarded by many as moon. As now we see, both Homura and Hagoromo after that battle were panting heavily, and left and right wherever their gaze went was nothing more than destroyed land that was caused by their battle. As Homura then said, all this destruction, just because of us, because of our family. And these people don't even have the power to protect themselves, brother. Like mother, what if we turned out like her? She wasn't like that always, was she? No, you're right. These people are helpless. They have to have a way to fight if we turn out like to be mother. What are you suggesting? I think I know what we should do. As after that we see a few years passed as people begin to emerge who also could do the same things that the Otsutsuki family could, but on a smaller scale. They were now capable of using chakra. As now we see Hagoromo and Homura begin to travel and begin to distribute their knowledge of chakra and spread it out. As after that they settle down on a piece of land where they begin their own clan, regarded as the Otsutsuki clan. Hagoromo settled down and so did Homura. As now we see, Hagoromo and Homura were having a meeting after many years of settling down and chakra being spread throughout the elemental nation. You what? Said Homura. It was the only option that I had. The beast was getting hard to contain within that seal. Even with the life force you have given to Shinigami, it shouldn't be a problem. The deal was to seal the biju within me, not to contain it. Shinigami is cunning, and I was not able to see through the loophole that existed. So what are we gonna do? Only one solution remains. I have to cut my life much shorter than I have anticipated. What? You can't just do that. It is the only solution, Homura. I am not going to ask you for your lifespan. You have another duty to attend to, or have you forgotten? Damn it. I'm sorry, brother. You have to leave your family and go guard the... I know. I must be the warden of our mother to make sure that she is where she is supposed to be, and to make sure that she is hidden. What are you going to do? I have a plan. That monster, it is getting hard and hard to contain him within me. I believe that he was the source of mother's power and corruption, and now that his power is at full, my body is breaking down from within because of overpower that I possess. I must distribute it into separate parts and hope for the best. But it is a risky plan. Do you think it would? It has to work, and we have to give it a try. As now we see, Hagoromo made another deal with the Shinigami and cut his life much more shorter than anticipated. He was still able to keep some of his life years so that he could at least see his sons grow. And within that, he was able to create 9 entities, known as the 9 bijus. But still, a huge amount of the chakra of the 10 tails remained. And that is when it was decided that a Garumazo, a statue of the 10 tails, be created, and Homura will take it with him to the moon, where their mother was sealed. And still, even after that, a huge chunk of chakra of the 10 tails remained. And that chakra, Hagoromo decided to exchange to Shinigami and request a few more years, because he saw, as his children begin to grow, the distance between them and their ideologies begin to differ, and he began to fear what Indra might become, because he was the carbon copy of his mother, and Asura, he was a carbon copy of him, and his favorite child as well. And so the Shinigami took the chakra of the 10 tails and gave a few years on lease to Hagoromo in exchange of a deal. As after that we see, time began to pass by, and due to old age, Hagoromo passed away. And as soon as he did, his children are grown up and having a huge amount of differences, went to war with one another, and hence began an era that was regarded as the most bloodied era of the century of the shinobi world, regarded as the clan warring era. It was stopped after many years of fighting and bloodshed, by two shinobis of the rival clans, Uchiha Madara and Hashirama Senju. Both Senjus and Uchihas were at the top in the clan warring era and the biggest rivals against one another, having the most fatalities in the, clans against one another as well, and both of their clan heads were able to stop this bloodshed and create and establish the first ever shinobi village known as Konoha Gakure no Sato. And soon after that, the new era began. And that era was those of the shinobi villages and of elemental nations, as we know of. Time began to pass by. Even after all of their efforts to keep peace or to preserve it, there were still people who were corrupted from within and wanted to wage war just so they could dominate the others and gain more power. The greed within them, the egos, and the power hunger. That all led to multiple wars known as the Great Shinobi Wars. In first war, Hashirama lost his life. In second war, Tobirama did. And in third one, a new hero appeared. A new light appeared. And that was none other than Minato no Mikaze. Regarded as the Yellow Flash of Konoha, he was able to subdue more than thousands of shinobis from Iwagakure, and also multiple hundred shinobis from different forces of the enemies. All of them dispatched multiple kills in an instant using the technique of the second Hokage, which was much more enhanced and advanced by him, regarded as the Flying Thunder God technique. And with that, he earned the moniker of the Yellow Flash and the hero of the war, that not only rescued many, but also was able to defend his home alone. As after that we see the Third Great War ended, Minato was chosen to be the Hokage. And as he was about to announce this news to his beloved wife in his house as he returned to, he got a news of his own. And that was of none other than that Kushina Uzumaki, his wife, was pregnant. And they were expecting not a child, but children. As Minato hearing this news was in tears of happiness. Being grown up as an orphan in the orphanage, he always wanted a family. He always wanted a father and mother. He vowed that he would not allow his children to ever suffer for what he has to go through. As now we see that, unbeknownst to him, fate had other plans. As time began to pass by, a sudden night appeared. The night in which his children were supposed to be born, October 10th. It was supposed to be a peaceful night, a happy night for them. But it turned out to be a disaster when a masked person arrived and kidnapped his wife while taking his son hostage. And after that, what happened was a tragedy. Kyubi no Yoko, the strongest out of the 9 Bijus, was released upon them, placed under a genjutsu, and then unleashed like a wild animal onto the village outer gates. The shinobis under the charge of the third Hokage, who was retired but had to act up because their current Hokage was not present at the scene, was fighting the Biju, trying to hold it off. But no matter how hard he tried, they were the ones who were fighting the losing battle and were being pushed back. And Kyubi was slowly getting closer to the village, and their fear was increasing as it did. The civilians were running around left and right like headless chickens, trying to save themselves the most. But even they knew that they couldn't. And all of them had one thought in mind. How did this happen? And where the hell was goddamn Minato? As now we see on the other side, behind the Hokage monument, was a battle going on between Minato no Mikaze and the masked person who tagged them. As now we see Minato using the techniques that he was best regarded in and was feared in, the Harishin and the Rasengan, a technique that he created on his own, was able to not only injure but also subdue the masked person. But that is when, as he was about to deal with him, a roar appeared and a huge amount of screams were heard as he froze. As that is when the masked person began to laugh. Now, Minato, it is up to you to decide whom you would choose. Your village, who is going to be destroyed if you don't help them? Or me? If I am allowed to be left alone and leave, you might not never get me. And if you come after me and let your village be destroyed, there won't be any place you will take me to. As now we see, Minato was now frozen in one place. As that is when his eyes narrowed, as he then said, "Mark my words, whoever you are, I will find you, and once I do, you will pay for what you have done today." Big words coming from your mouth, Minato. No matter how much you try, you won't be able to find me. Heck, you don't even know who I am. Who are you? Fine, I'll give you the name. Madara Uchiha. And with that, the masked person disappeared in a swirl of nothingness. As with that, Minato was left shocked, but that is when he was brought out of his stupor when he heard another screech from the Biju. He arrived at the Hokage monument on top of his head. As now we see, Minato atop of his head was able to see throughout the whole village and was able to utilize what was going on, and that is when he knew what he had to do. He arrived back at home where he saw that Kushina was getting ready in her Konoichi gear. "Kushina, what are you doing? You had to rest. I've taken the chakra pills. Use the healing ninjutsu. I'll be fine. We have to stop the Biju." "But Kushina, I know I was against that. It was as a backup plan, but now that the things have gone bad because of your mouth, I guess there's nothing we can do. Grab Mito and leave Naruto and Menma to me." As now we see the three of them dash towards the outer skirts, and there, as soon as they arrived, an altar was prepared by Kushina. As the three children were placed, as both of them begin to write down the seal matrix upon the bellies of the three children. "So how are we gonna do this? We're gonna split the Biju into 3 parts. Since they are newborns, we're not so sure how the Biju would react or how the seal would react. So we have to separate him into 3 parts and seal them inside each of them." "What?" "Yes. Soul in one and the chakra in the other 2. That is how we're gonna go." As now we see that Minato and Kushina, using the 8 pentagram seal and their Uzumaki chains, were able to subdue the Biju. And when the process about the sealing began, something went wrong with Naruto. As everything seemed fine with the others, that is when it happened. As Kushina and Minato's eyes were filled with worry. "Oh no, what is going on?" said Hiruzen as he arrived here. "Naruto's seal, it's acting up." "God damn it, what did you do, Minato? We separated the soul and chakra into 3 pieces and tried to seal them in our kids. Are you insane? 2 souls cannot exist in a single body." "God damn it, Minato. Think, Hiruzen, think." "There's only one choice. Not much time is left, Minato. Either that child will lose his life or the Biju would be free and destroy us all. What are you gonna do, Hiruzen-sama?" I have to use the Hakai Fuyin. "But that is a forbidden jutsu." "I know. That is why I will use it. You two make sure that the seal is fine. We're gonna need every help we get." As now we see, a couple of hand seals was made by Hiruzen as the Shinigami was summoned. As Shinigami appeared, we see that Shinigami began to assess the situation after Hiruzen explained it, and came to a conclusion. "So you want both of the souls to exist in the body?" "Yes, that is what I want. And what would I get in return?" I will willingly exchange my soul." "Good. That is more than enough sufficient payment for what I'm about to do. There is only one solution." "Oh, what would that be?" "That is to create a medium. A medium that would be strong enough than both of them, like a barrier. But you must know that this medium might affect the child in some ways." What would it be? Would it be able to protect the kid from the Kyuubi?" "Oh yes, it will be. I have just the thing." As Shinigami cunningly said, as now we see, a hand of Shinigami appeared in front of Naruto's seal, as both of the others watched with terror as a purple hue glowed as it entered the seal. As the Biju soul that was trying to break free from the chains was then immediately dragged by the purple chains that looked like claws that were dragging and ripping the soul apart, as Kyuubi seemed scared and in agony as soon the Kyuubi too was consumed by the seal. As after that, Shinigami looked towards Hiruzen, and its katana slashed through his chest. There was no wound, but a slash appeared from which the soul was taken. "The payment has been made, Hiruzen Sarutobi." But the Shinigami didn't left as it claimed the soul of Hiruzen. "Beware, the medium I have created is much more dangerous than you think. It will keep your child alive. But what? Shinigami smirked, which sent chills down everyone's spine. It would be amusing to see how you humans deal with this. Certainly it will be. With that, the Shinigami disappeared, as now everyone there was left murmuring. What did Shinigami meant, and why, in particular, it had to be him, the blonde-haired kid of the Hokage. As now we see, Kakashi arrived there and took care of Hiruzen-sama's body. I will go and deliver him to the morgue, and the shinobis will do what they have to do. Sensei, Kushina-san, you take the kid somewhere safe. Yeah, you do that, Kakashi, said Minato, getting out of his stupidor. As now we see Minato and Kushina somewhere safe inside their home where the kids were placed. Naruto, surprisingly, has stopped crying, or he didn't cry throughout the whole way. While on the other side, both Menma and Mita were crying a river. As now we see, Minato was looking at the three children, while Kushina was also, trying her best to calm the other two down. What is it, Minato? I have been noticing that you are in deep thought. I know what happened, but still. Aren't you happy that... I am happy, don't get me wrong, that we were able to have kids safely, and I didn't lose any one of you, said Minato, hugging his wife. As now we see, Minato then said, but what Shinigami said about Naruto, people have heard that. I worry that they might think it the wrong way. The seal is working perfectly fine though, said Kushina. I know, Kushina, but people, what happened today? There might be some changes and consequences that might affect the people's regard towards them. I'm gonna go and have a council meeting, and once it is sorted out, we'll see where things go. As now we see, Minato called for a council meeting as Minato was seated inside the Hokage office. In the council chamber, as the whole council gathered, the civilians, the elders, and the current clan heads. As soon as every one of them gathered, the meeting was begun. As Minato then said, it is unfortunate what happened today. Not only did we lost huge amount of Kunoichis and shinobis who were loyal to this village but also fought bravely, we also lost our Sandaime Hokage. As after that, there was a moment of silence as one of the elders began, which was Danzo Shimura. That is sad and all, but we would like to ask a few questions, Minato. You assured us that everything would be fine. It was. A man appeared claiming to be Madara Uchiha. Now I have no doubt that it is not from the Uchiha clan. But if there is a rogue Uchiha out there that the clan isn't aware of, or a person who is impersonating an Uchiha with a stolen Sharingan, it is a concern not only to the Uchiha clan, but also alarming to us. So you think that there might be someone impersonating an Uchiha with a Uchiha eyes? Yes. As that is when Shukaku then said, haven't you all noticed? There was a Sharingan patron. Now I'm not saying that it might be a Fugaku or any other of them, but what Minato is saying is making a lot of sense, and it is quite alarming that an Uchiha Sharingan has gone missing. As that is when Fugaku then said, if that is true, then we might need all the help we can get. I will look into the records and see whom have died and whom body we might have forgotten, because as far as I concern, no one was left behind, not even the dead ones. As after that, Minato nodded. As after that, Danzo began with his second question. You haven't answered. What did I answer, Danzo? What happened to the Biju? The Biju was sealed into my own children, as everyone began to murmur with shock-filled gasps. You sealed the Biju inside your own children? I had no other choice. Kushina and I, we both had that this might be the only option that we might have. It was either this or we could have done something much worse. Let the Biju be out and destroy the village. There was no other choice, but there might have been. Could any of you have given up your child for this job, this task? Kushina has Uzumaki genes, and they are the only ones strong enough to hold back the Nine Tails. And plus the Nine Tails is divided into three parts, Yin and Yang chakra and the soul. What do you mean? We made the pentagram seal and used the Shinigami's help to make sure the soul and the other two chakras are secured. Hiruzen-sama sacrificed himself doing that. in exchange with the Shinigami. So he used the Hakai Fuyin, a forbidden seal that Sensei forbade us strictly to use. In the end, he went ahead and decided what he needs to do. Damn bastard, said Danzo while he closed his eyes. Everyone would have been angry at his words, but they knew that Danzo, even though he was a selfish bastard, he still respected Hiruzen and regarded him as his rival and maybe friend, and he was in pain of losing such one. And both Koharu and Homura were also visibly shaken. Minato, we need certain proof that the QB is secured. It is. I don't wish my children to be regarded as heroes or so on or so such. I want all of you to give them a chance to make sure you see for yourself that they are my kids and not the Biju that you see that they possess. We trust in you, Hokage-sama. And Danzo-sama sacrificed himself. The civilians are right, said Danzo. It was Hiruzen's last wish, and if it is his last work, then we, as a fallen comrade, must respect his wishes. Even a person like me can respect that. I have no other questions. As after that, Koharu began, what are we gonna do, Minato? There are many casualties, and not only that, people are distressed. They need you to address with them, and not only that, we gotta need the help we can get to repair all the destruction that has been caused. We will discuss that. As the meeting continued on for a few hours, as after that we see Minato returned back home, it was already sunset of the next day. As he walked through from the streets, which were once filled just day before yesterday with kids and with happiness, were now barren, and there were a lot of destroyed debris left and right. As he arrived towards the home in which they lived, as the Uzumaki State was a small home which was 2 stories tall, as now inside we see Kushina was standing looking shocked, filled expression towards what seemingly looked like something. As Minato instincts dashed in, as he dashed towards where Kushina was watching them, it was in the living room to see that the kids were there. What happened, Kushina? Naruto. Naruto exceeded Dread Chakra, and huge amount of it. How did he do that? Mito was about to fall down from there on from the couch, and I was away, and the chakra. Kushina, calm down, I can't understand. As after Kushina calmed down, everything was explained of what happened. You see, as we have a flashback, Kushina went to kitchen to grab a glass of water because she was stressed out from what has happened yesterday night. As we see, she placed all of her 3 kids on the couch. Mito, being the, most cranky and active one, began to swirl left and right and was about to fall down. Naruto, being the silent one, was observing with his eyes surprisingly open, and he exceeded a huge amount of chakra, which was visible, and it was able to grab and hold on to Mito and place her gently down to the ground, and it was orange. And that terrified Kushina to the core, because that chakra, that was Kyuubi's. As now we see, after listening to this whole story, we go to the present, and that is what happened, Minato. Do you think the seal has worked? Do you think the Shinigami might have been playing games with us? I'm quite scared. You don't need to worry about anything, Kushina. Shinigami won't do any of that. And plus, we have our family here. I will check the seal again to make sure, see? As after that, the seal was checked again and it was working perfectly fine. As Kushina began to calm down after hearing that. As after that, time began to pass by as the kids begin to grow up. As 6 years have gone by since that incident, and the people of Konoha have begun to forget about what happened in the past, and now begin to celebrate it as a defeat of the Kyuubi festival, and even organize huge festive parades and so on and so such on every October 10th now and then. As on the other side, we see that the kids, the Uzumaki Namikaze kids, were growing up just fine. Menma was the brains of the trio, while Mito, she was the obnoxious, happy-go-lucky knucklehead. And as for Naruto, He was the big question mark for everyone. He was distant, cold, and only would rarely smile towards his family. And he didn't trust anyone in the village, surprisingly. Aside from his parents and his siblings, not a single soul was able to gain his trust. And once Danzo met them on a birthday of the kids, when every important person was invited, he was able to guess that Naruto was doubting him. Even if he was acting in front of the kids, he was able to see through that the kid had brains, and he was able to see through his lies and disguise and deceit. And since then, Naruto has piqued his interest, and he still was, well, true to his words and didn't try to gain any of them in his favor to overthrow Minato. Instead, he began to monitor Naruto to see how his growth would go through his root Anbus. And surprisingly enough, Naruto most of the time was able to trace them just by sensing them and would glare at them. And that glare would send an unease feeling even towards the hardened root Anbus, who were nothing more than mere puppets of Danzo. As now we see, at the age of 6, the kids were playing in the backyard, as that is when Naruto, who was just laying down and watching the sky, then said, "You know, we should head inside by now." "What? It's already just 10 minutes have passed by. Why are you so hell-bent we should go inside?" "I don't know. I'm bored. Why do we even come here outside? All we do is just do our own stuff. Menma Nisan reads. All you do, Mayta Nisan, is just try your best to train." "Hey, Naruto, don't be like that. At least she's trying, unlike you, who is only lazing off. Geez, you're the youngest of us, and you should be the one who should be trying their best to catch up to their Ni-sama and Ne-sama." "Oh, please, like I would have to." "What do you mean by that?" said Menma, adjusting his glasses. I would be able to do that if I wanted to." "Seriously?" "Yes, seriously. Now can we go inside? I'm starving." "Talking about starving, I think I might be starving too," said Mito as her stomach grumbled. As Menma sighed, "Fine. Let's head inside. I'll cook some ramen for us." "Yay, ramen," said Mito, as Menma and Mito began to dash towards the home. As Naruto, with a smile, watched them go, as he then dropped his smile and frowned. "You can come out now. I know you're within here." As from the bushes, a man with a different headband appeared, wearing red robes and grey armor. So the brat was able to detect me. "Oh well, you're still out of the barrier's range. I have been monitoring that. There is a barrier to a certain degree around the house. If I try to go near that barrier, I will be calling it my own death because the alarm will be triggered. You're smart, I guess, to some extent, for your own good." "What do you mean by that, you brat? I have you here, don't I?" I guess you do. So what do you plan to do?" "Nothing. I'm just gonna drag you where my buddies are, and we might have a little fun of our own." As now we see, Naruto was taken and then thrown in a base created by the Iwa Shinobi, who were fed up by their, scared Kage, and decided on their own that they would abandon the village and go take revenge on the 4th Hokage of Konoha by taking away something precious of their own, like a child. And now they had one of their child in his possession. As everyone began to beat on the bag in which Naruto was in. But surprisingly, Naruto was watching this from a treetop as they beat it around a bunch of, wood sticks that were placed inside the bag. As that is when one of them noticed, "Hey, look at that side where the bag is tiered. It's nothing more than wood. You tricked us. You think this is some sort of a prank?" "No, I swear. I got the kid. He was here. Next time you better bring us a kid. If you don't, then I will tear you to shreds." But before he could do anything, Naruto did tear him to shreds by cleaving his neck off alongside the other 3 that was towering over the one who is supposed kidnapper. As Naruto stood there with a kunai that was supposedly gone missing from the holster of the kidnapper of his, as the kunai was covered in blood. Naruto's eyes were not blue anymore. They were red, but not with slits. They had ripples in them, and each ripple had a huge amount of tomos. As Naruto looked towards with such menacing eyes that almost looked demonic towards the man. You see, I told you that don't take me for who I seem to be. As now we see, the man literally pissed his pants because he was so afraid and scared. Just what kind of monster did he brought here? What are you? I am your worst nightmare. You tried to mess with my family. You tried to mess with me. And you know what I do with people like such? What? As Naruto literally placed a hand on his mouth and said to his ear before stabbing kunai again and again and again onto one side of his neck, and then dragging it to the other side, cleaving his neck off in the most brutal way possible. And then he threw the kunai away and looked towards his clothes and hands that were, well, now covered in blood. Damn it. Those Inuzuka hounds, they might get my scent. As now we see, Naruto then switched himself with the wooden sticks that were placed in the bag with him, and then on his own made some visible cuts and made sure that he acted like he was beaten and was knocked out. As now we see, once the shinobis got there with Minato, they were quite shocked at how did this happen. What the hell happened here? Quick, Minato, check that bag. The scent of the kid is there. Thanks, Tizumi, said Minato as he dashed there and opened the bag. And as soon as he did, his heart dropped. No, Naruto! He yelled out, holding on to his son who was wounded badly. As after that, Minato disappeared, leaving Tizumi in charge with the shinobis. Alright, see if anyone is alive. From the looks of it, no one is. Just what kind of monster did they face? I mean, look at his eyes, filled with fear. What kind of monster did he saw? Ugh, poor bastards. Burn their bodies. We don't want Eva's heat on us. Hi. As after that we see the burned bodies and every evidence was disregarded to any connection to Konoha. And they all returned back. As Naruto was now in the hospital room, where it was told that the most blood on Naruto's body was not even his, but some of it was, indicating that whatever did this was the one who saved Naruto. And surprisingly, he didn't have much wounds. All he had was trauma. As now we see Naruto acting asleep. As he woke up, his eyes were blue again, as he looked towards his family and siblings. What happened? Naruto, we're glad you're okay. One moment you were behind us, and the next moment you were... I don't know what happened as well. What happened, Dojan? It was nothing, son. It was nothing. You're safe now. As now we see Naruto being hugged by his mother, while everyone was doing a group hug. Naruto looking out of the window, his eyes turning red again, with a sinister smirk on his face. It was working. As this was going on, we go towards the realm of Shinigami, where we see Shinigami sitting on the throne, smirking on its own. My oh my, this is certainly interesting. I made the right decision. Things certainly have gotten interesting with the Shinju being there. And that monster thought I would give him the boy's body in exchange of doing a deed for me. Now what happened was 6 years ago, Shinigami not only played Hagoromo as well as Hiruzen, but also the Shinju, the monster in question as well. You see, what happened was Shinju was able to slowly regain a consciousness of its own when he was given to Shinigami by Hagoromo. And as the years went by, the monster began to try to convince Shinigami to make a deal of its own and how it could be useful to him, just to break free from the Shinigami. And that is when Shinigami decided to do something about it. And the perfect opportunity arrived on its own when Hiruzen summoned him. He stripped away the monster's thoughts for a moment and merged him with the soul of the boy, acting as a mediate between him and a barrier as well between him and the Biju that was sealed within him as a soul known as Kyubi no Yoko. So now, instead of a medium, the boy was the reincarnation, more like it, of the Ten Tails. The Ten Tails in human skin in itself. And these humans in which he was sent, He was gaining his power exponentially each and every second, and Shinigami was waiting for the day until he gains the whole strength and unleashes it upon this world, because Shinigami had other thoughts in mind. Now let's see, what would you do, my plaything, once I unleash you to my chessboard? As many enemies were alerted, as now we go back to the elemental nations, as now we have a time skip of a few more years later, as 7 more years went by, as the kids grew up at the age of 13, as now we see they were graduating from the Shinobi Academy and going to become Genins, which were the first rank of a Shinobi carrier for them. Naruto still acted cold towards, well, everyone aside from his siblings and his parents. He wasn't able to make a single soul his friend, not even those who were actually friends of his siblings. Many people called the Ice Prince to Sasuke, but in reality, the king who was born in the ice, more like it, was Naruto himself. Nobody could break through his barrier. Not even Iruka himself was able to do that. Not even Danzo could. He was too smart, keeping his cards close to himself. And it made even those people like Itachi wary of him, to the point where they would rather avoid him altogether, instead of going up against him or trying to even have a conversation with him. As now we see, headbands were being handed out after the Genin test, as Naruto, grabbing his headband, said even nothing and just was about to leave, as Mizuki stopped him. Naruto, it isn't nice to at least say goodbye, not even say goodbye to your sensei, you know that? Goodbye. With that said, Naruto was about to leave as Mizuki gritted his teeth. What is with that kid? I get it that he's Hokage's son and all that, but still, you could have shown us some respect, Iruka. Leave him be. He's Naruto. He's always been like that since birth. To hell with that. That kid needs to learn a lesson. Hey, stop right there, Naruto. You're not graduated. Hand over that headband to me. On what premises? You can't take that back. Once a headband is handed out, it is my property. You can't do that, Mizuki. What? What did you say? Mizuki. We're now on similar terms. You were a Genin just a few weeks ago. Or have you forgotten? I'm still your senpai, you dipshit. Senpai, huh? Then how about a spar? Senpai. Maybe I'll be able to learn a thing or two from him. As Mizuki smirked. Fine. That would do. Mizuki, drop it. You're a goddamn Chunin, for God's sake. Don't act like a kid. No. Iruka, this kid needs to learn some manners. It's high time someone dropped him from his high horse. Ice King needs to go down. As now we see, all of the Genins gathered as Naruto and Mizuki were about to spar. Mizuki exponentially used some strength, but Naruto was able to block him off and smirked. Is that all? As Mizuki was shocked, so he exceeded his strength more and more and more, until he was going full strength. Is that all? Seriously? Is this the strength of a mighty Chunin? How about I show you a little bit of Maya? As Naruto, just using his feet, dashed towards Mizuki and shoulder bashed him, sending him flying towards the tree, which was cracked as Mizuki was thrown behind that tree, breaking it and slammed into the wooden fence. As now we see, Mizuki was knocked out cold as everyone was silent. Naruto didn't even use any technique. He just dashed and just body slammed him. And this is what happened. As Naruto then said, cracking his neck. Disappointing. Is that all, Sensei? Yes, Naruto. That would be all. Good. Menmani-san, Mito-ne-san, can we leave? Yes, Naruto. I think we can. As both of the siblings were quite shocked. As the siblings began to leave, we see that inside the council chamber where the whole council was gathered, we see that the council was quite shocked, and to be honest, some were scared. Knowing that the boy possessed the soul of the Biju, they were afraid of the boy. And here, as Danzo then said, the boy has exponential skills, Minato. He has shown us that he has much more advanced learning capabilities. What are you suggesting, Danzo? Place him in the Anbu, not in the root, but in the Anbus. The boy is not fit out for the Shinobi sector. He is best suited for the Anbu sector. I won't do that to my child. Itachi was also placed in the Anbu at his age, and he did exponentially, as you can see. To be honest, said Fugaku, I think it would be for the best, Minato. Even Itachi is wary of Naruto. The boy holds his cards way too much close. And to be honest, it's just an enigma to most of us. We do not know what he's thinking. And many people in the village are quite afraid. I think it is for the best that he is hidden away from the public eye. We can decide on which missions he would go. But for the timing, I think it would be for the best that he is away from the Shinobi sector and in the Anbu sector. As now we see, Minato, after the whole council discussed this, had now a decision to make. I will go home and I will discuss this with my wife. This meeting is adjourned, said Minato as he was looking left and right, thinking deeply. As in the nighttime we see that Minato told everything what happened in the council chamber at the dinner table. As Naruto then said, if this is what you wish, father, I will do so. Are you sure, son? What is it that you want? I want what is good for my family, that is all. Naruto, you need to trust more people. I won't. I can't. You are the only people I trust, and that is more than enough and evidence that I won't defect from this village or do anything against them. Even if they think that I might be the QB's reincarnation who is just waiting for the right time to destroy them. I mean, I can if I want to, but I won't. As this shocked both Minato and Kushina and Menma and Mito as well. But in different ways. Menma and Mito began to chuckle and laugh because they knew Naruto had this dry humor since he was always acting cold. But Minato and Kushina looked at each other and said, "What does that mean, Naruto?" "Ah, nothing. Naruto's just acting funny, that's all," said Menma. As now we see, after that night, the next morning came as both of the parents had a talk of their own in their room. And Naruto agreed to their decision. He joined the Team Ryuan with division. And soon, the path between the siblings was separated. As time began to pass by, the Team 7, which was now made of, Menma, Mito, and Sasuke instead of, Sakura, Naruto, and Sasuke under Kakashi Hatake, went on different missions. While Naruto's training, which was quite harsh and hard, began. He wasn't being taken easily, and he proved to everyone, even to the Team Ryu's captain, as well as the Dragon Anbu commander, who was the head of all Anbu captain teams, that he had a real Anbu in him, and he was really Anbu material, much more than any of them anticipated. He was also sent on a dangerous mission to test his skills out. Unknown to him, he had a lot of teams following him just so they could act in, because it was a mission away from the Hokage, as it was to retrieve the second Hokage sword, the Raijin. And Naruto not only decapitated everyone in such a way that was brutal, as well as quite stealthy, that it was almost at one point shocking and scary, but also retrieved the sword, also instilling the fear in many while taking it. And as soon as he returned, Dragon was quite happy with him. As Dragon Anbu commander then went towards the Hokage office as he gave Minato the sword. How did this happen? I didn't authorize this mission. The third Hokage did long ago, Hokage-sama. And we were tracking them down. Now that one of them were located, who possessed the sword really, we were able to retrieve it. Who did? I want to award the shinobi. Naruto. That would be Naruto. Fox. What? You mean my son was the one who went there? With all due respect, Hokage-sama, he was sent alone there. And what? He was sent alone? Said Minato, his anger increasing. Would you please listen to me, Hokage-sama? He was able to retrieve it. And what we witnessed were quite something. What do you mean by that? Naruto, in such a way, was able to take them down that we have never seen before. As many of the veterans said, they might have gotten goosebumps and even chills seeing the boy in action. He's cunning, way too much cunning, and not only that, his abilities are way ahead of being called exponential or prodigious ones. I might dare say he is a universal prodigy, once in a million years kind of one. As now we see, Minato just slumped down to his seat. He has heard these words long enough. He just wanted his son to enjoy his life. He didn't want this for his son, but he knew that he was the one who pushed him in this direction to make others ease off, but this would just make things difficult. And that it did. After the council was, made aware of this situation, they were not quite happy about how Naruto was and sent him on a lot of dangerous missions. And Naruto each and every time returned much more colder, bloodied, as well as something different that Minato was anticipating. Naruto was much more vicious in each and every encounter of his, and he was even regarded as the legendary fox, a myth who comes down to hunt you like a boogeyman regarding the whole elemental nation. And it was said as a myth in between them, like a tale of horror, that whoever's name was given to him, nobody could save him in the world, no matter how much he prays, how much he pays the price to anyone. Not even the kami would save him. He would hunt his soul down. And that is what Naruto did, instilling the fear of his name into the whole elemental nation. But Naruto still regarded one thing precious to him, his only weakness, his family. And once Naruto, returning from a mission, found out what happened to his siblings' team and the Land of Waves, he didn't stop. He vanished using the fly riding technique that he had mastered on his own and arrived where his siblings was attacked. And what followed suit was a massacre. He not only massacred both Haku and Zabuza, he also massacred every one of the members who was involved in each and every one of them in most brutal way possible. And when he stopped, there was nothing more than a pile of blood everywhere, his whole body covered in blood, his whole armor as well. It was not a single drop of his, but his enemy's blood was painted all over his body, his armor. As he then looked towards Itachi, his blue eyes that were red for the time being glowing from behind the mask of the fox, as Kakashi, who was there, was fearful of him. Is that the Kyuubi's chakra? Sensei, who is that? As Menma then said, adjusting his glasses, that is the legendary fox. What is he doing there? It is your responsibility, said Naruto in a demonic voice, changing his voice so that only Kakashi would realize who he was, but the others won't. To keep them safe, Kakashi Hatake. If you put any one of them in danger, I will be the one coming for you next. Make sure these mistakes won't happen again. With that said, there was a flying Raijin technique, a blue boom that made Naruto disappear from there. While the kids cheered, we see that Kakashi was standing there in shock of what he witnessed. After a week or so, we see that Kakashi and his team returned, and once they did, he went straight towards the Hokage office to explain what happened. As Minato and the council were quite shocked, they were amazed and were already aware of what Naruto was able to do, but they were also afraid because he was like a loose cannon now. Strong so that the whole elemental nation now feared him, and now they were afraid that they might also lose what little strength they had over him. Mainly Danzo did. As Danzo then said, the boy is getting too much stronger. Isn't it a good thing though? Said Koharu. It is, but on one condition, that he listens to anyone. He won't even listen to Minato when it comes to his siblings or anyone of his family members. So that is his weakness. If there is no weakness, there is one way to make sure that he listens to us. Said Danzo. What are you planning, Danzo? Keep Minato, Kushina, and Menma and Mito locked up. These Chunin exams, I'll be the acting judge and Hokage for the time being. Naruto will need to listen to me. Tell this to everyone. As now we see, not only the Dragon Anu commander was there, but also the other council members, because they were getting worried and scared of the kid and how much of a loose cannon he was becoming. And Naruto, unbeknownst to everyone, his strength from being merged and with the 10 tails was increasing every second 10 folds as we speak. And as Chunin exams appeared, Naruto was sent on a mission. And as soon as he returned, there was Konoha Crush, and he has heard the news that his father and siblings protected and were in a comatose state, kept somewhere safe. As Naruto was now standing in front of the council, where is my family? I have completed the mission. I need to see them. You can't see them. They are in somewhere safe place. What? Take me to them then. You can't. You're not allowed to. What do you mean by that? As that is when Anbus appeared, and Naruto was holding down by both of his arms. What is the meaning of this? You see, Naruto, you have gained too much strength. We did not anticipate you to become such a loose cannon that you might bare your fangs towards us. We are, in short, fearful of you, my dear boy. Now we know for sure that you won't betray us, but to make certain that you will never think of it, we have to take some actions. What kind of nonsense is this? You want me to kill you or something? See, that is what we are worried about, kid. You are a loose cannon, and we don't want that. What are you going to do? We are holding your family hostage for the time being. Don't get us wrong, they are important to us. But we have gone fearful of the fraction that has you. So to give you a short answer, we have decided to place some restriction seals on you that would allow us to control you whenever we want, so to make sure that you won't go against us. Fine, I would allow you to place those seals on me, but on one condition. You must tell me where my family is. Only after the seals are placed, me, Koharu, and Homura with ourselves will lead you there. Fine. As Naruto slumped as the seals were placed. As after that we see Naruto was taken with his eyes bandaged up to where his parents were. After seeing his family in chains, the seals were activated as he took a step. As now we see Naruto said, "What is this for? We didn't allow you to go near them. You have to learn, brat. That is how things are going to work from now on. You will work for us." Says who? As now we see Naruto stood up and easily broke through the chains as Danzo increased the pressure tenfold as Naruto then took off his mask and cracked it in his hand. And then grabbed his headband and then shattered it as well. "Thank you for showing me where my family was." As Naruto's eyes opened again, revealing something much more sinister that sent chills down everyone's spine as they saw it. It was red eyes with ripples in them with a lot of tomos. As Naruto then did something. He made chakra clones emerging from orange chakra that went and guarded each and every member of his family and created a barrier of chakra on its own. You know, I never trusted any one of you. And I never thought that you would fall for this, but you really are stupid and power hungry. That you would stoop so low to make me your slave by making my family hostage. No. I gotta make a statement to others so that they won't try. What are you babbling about? What are you going to do? Konoha needs to go. I have come to that conclusion. It will be done now. What do you mean by that? As Naruto then showed his canines, and that is when a huge amount of chakra erupted. And instead of 9 tails, a sinister entity appeared. It was the 10 tails in golden aura. As its red eye bore towards the village as a hideous monster screeched and roared, shaking the very earth itself, all the way to the other side of the elemental nations. The Bijus and their Jinchurikis felt fear for the first time, and not only them, the other nations as well, shaken to their core, felt the roar and the fear, and what followed suit was nothing more than pure destruction of Konoha. And one such member watching this was also shaking his feet, and that was Zetsu. How is this possible? 10 Tails was supposed to be resurrected, not here. As now we see, after the Konoha was destroyed just with a few sweeps and with a single Bijudama from the monster, each and every soul in the vicinity of the land of fire and the whole Konoha was eradicated, turning to dust. We see that Naruto then said, roaring out to the whole elemental nations, "People of elemental nations, if you dare go against the Uzumaki Namikaze family, you will all suffer." And with that warning that was heard loud and clear by each and every one individual in the whole elemental nation, Naruto turned back to where his clones were and moved his family somewhere safe. As now we see, Jiraiya, Tsunade were the only ones alongside Orochimaru who were affiliated to Konoha were alive. They were quite shocked and scared when they find out that the whole land of fire alongside Konoha was wiped out. Where there was nothing more than lush forest and greenery was nothing more than now just a huge chunk of rock and a huge bare bottomless pit of a hole. As now we see, Jiraiya then said, "What happened here? That voice, who could have been?" As the other nations also were worried, because Konoha was the strongest of them, and it was wiped out in just a single day by some entity that called out to them to not mess with the Uzumaki Namikaze family. Whoever this entity was, it had connection with them, and it certainly wasn't happy, and didn't want anything to happen to them, and they became fearful of that and made the biggest mistake. They began to hunt them down. And once the hunt began, the Katsuki joined in as well, because they got curiosity that why the Ten Tails was there. And we all know curiosity got the cat killed. And so, they met the monster that they were trying so hard to find. The Ten Tails emerged. As the Uzumaki Namikaze family, while still living under a genjutsu that was placed by the Ten Tails Rinne Sharingan, which was Naruto's basically Rinne Sharingan, to make sure that their family was happy, killed and destroyed the whole elemental nations. Not a single soul aside from them. Not even Jiraiya and Tsunade were spared. Every one of them was wiped out. While in the eyes of Menma, Mito, Naruto, Menma, Mito and Minato and Kushina, everything was normal. But in reality, it was nothing more than a genjutsu placed by the new Ten Tails, the new Shinju, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. He has accomplished what his master created him to do, but he has gained his freedom as well. He has gained his people, whom he can really call his parents and his family and siblings. And he would certainly not stand down in front of anyone if it comes to them. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this story off, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. As yeah, I promise that I will be uploading a series on Monday. I'm gonna start working now. Until then, the unscripted stories will be posted here, and as promised, I will be uploading on Apollo Jiha as well every now and then. I promise, okay? And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for the day. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace.